If something changes how you feel, let's use a thought as an example. If you're thinking something and it changes how you feel, then you are not in a state of awareness. But it is really easy to get into states of awareness. And I'm going to show you my 5 levels of awareness that you can start applying to literally change your life. The most important one when you want to start changing the world around you and actually have a better life is when you get into this number 4, emotional awareness. This is where manifestation starts to become conscious. So when emotions are chosen, you start to develop almost a power to change your world around you. And obviously the most powerful and best state to be in is total awareness. This is being aware of everything. And there is a way to get into it. I'm going to show you how to do it all in this video. What's up, you guys? My name is Mitch, and I help break down spirituality into logical steps that we can all take to actually start changing our lives and manifesting our dreams. And before we jump into the different stages of awareness, I want to share something really powerful with you. For those of you here on a spiritual or conscious journey, you know that you have to get rid of your ego, and we call that shadow work. And the reason I bring this up is because shadow work kind of implies that the work we have to do is in the dark. It's not in states of light. Awareness is the light that you can turn on to start dealing with problems in your ego that are blocking the life that you actually want to start being attracted to you. And if you feel that any one of those areas really need a lot more explanation, I'd love to hear from you in the comment section. Let me know what you would appreciate a video on. Don't forget to subscribe and turn your notifications on so that you don't miss that upload. So starting out with number 1 is spatial awareness. Now this isn't super esoteric. This is something we can all do. And these 3 levels are of our ego that we want to definitely become aware of so we can start changing our manifestations. To get into a state of spatial awareness, we need to connect with our senses. As soon as we start connecting with our senses, what starts to happen is our awareness goes outside of us. So we don't just look at things or hear noises. We become aware of them as they exist. What I mean by that is there is no emotional feeling that happens. And that is actually when you experience things. I'm going to give you a good analogy to help you understand this in a really clear way. Think about when you go on holiday to your favorite beach destination. You're going on a vacation to the beach. You don't sit there and go, I just saw the one wave crash there and I just saw a grain of sand that was a different color. We don't try and identify the scenery. We try to experience the scenery. We just allow ourselves to be in it. And that is awareness. It doesn't change how you feel. You're allowing certain emotions to exist in combination with the experience. Then we move on to level 2. Self-awareness is not about the space around us, but the space that we actually occupy. So it's about you in that space. And if you become aware of the space first, and then start shifting to yourself and realizing that you in your entirety are there, that helps bring your awareness out of thought. And it's a really important one to get into because that's number 3. But when you become aware of yourself and get out of thought, you are present. Now, presence is extremely valuable when you're on your spiritual or conscious journey. To be present is bringing your entire awareness into a space and time. And it's an important thing to note that where thoughts go, energy flows. So if your thoughts are not about experiencing the moment that you're in, and your thoughts are about future potential catastrophes and anxiety-ridden problems, anxiety actually is a key to realize you're also not aware. That is a really great one to use. Anxiety is preparation or the suffering now of a future potential catastrophe. So the reason we want to become present of the space that's around us and the space that we occupy within it, because then the energy isn't in the future catastrophe, it's diverted into the moment. And the place that you actually exist is now. It's not in that future thought. It's not in the past. It's in this moment. So if you are within that moment, as you stand and as you are present today, then the energy will flow into that space, and that's where you can actually use the energy to start attracting different things to you, but also to start changing yourself and upgrading your own levels. And that leads me on to point number 3, which is thoughtful awareness. Now, this doesn't mean, be thoughtful to people. Be thoughtful about how you treat others. It means aware of the thought. And the great way, like I said earlier on, to know whether or not you are in a state of thoughtful awareness is if thoughts can happen without it changing your feeling. So if you're busy thinking and things are going on in your head and you don't feel any different than how you choose to feel, you know you are in a state of awareness of it. It also should not rob you of your awareness of the first 2 stages. So you should be able to be aware of thoughts and yourself and the space that you are in. Because this is the first stage that people who are leaving their ego behind get into when they start expanding. So if you're in a state where you don't know how to be aware of your thoughts, here's a great way to do it. Realizing that none of it is real, that your thoughts are not real, will help you create that awareness. Distance helps with awareness. Your thoughts are also not your identity. So thinking is not who you are. You, as in the authentic, spiritual, soulful you, are not the thoughts, you are observing them. You are in a state of experiencing this human life, not the human life itself. So become aware of your thoughts like that, devalue them. As soon as we devalue them by saying they're not real, we don't identify with them anymore. And at the same time, realizing we are not them helps us amp up that awareness of them. So then they won't change how you feel because you're going, oh, look, the mind is thinking again. And it takes a state of awareness to go, the mind is conjuring up thoughts without going along the rabbit hole and going, oh yeah, what if that happens? And we go into this anxious state of the potential breakdown of our entire lives. So thoughtful awareness is a state we absolutely have to access so we can silence these thoughts. They don't impact how we feel. We're aware that they can happen, but they aren't such a big deal. And it's probably the hardest awareness to get into is thoughtful awareness. Now we bridge into the spiritual stuff where you start to actually access different power. And if you're enjoying this video so far, I'd really appreciate those of you who want to contribute by giving it a like, leaving your thoughts in the comments. It really helps this video do well. And that helps me reach my goal of sharing spirituality to more people in a practical, applicable way. So if this is exciting you so far and you don't want to miss another upload, make sure to hit the subscribe button, turn your notifications on, and I can't wait to have chats with all of you. For those of you who don't know, I respond to each and every comment on every single video. Emotional awareness is becoming aware of your emotions themselves. And too many of us have emotions as a reaction instead of an intentional action. What I mean by that is put yourself in a situation where somebody lies to you. The feelings you experience are reactive. They're reacting to the dishonesty, to someone not playing by the rules that you thought were unspoken about the relationship. This starts to impact the way we control our world in such a deep way, because emotions are the instruction to the universe. For those of you who pray, who sit there at night and say, God, please, can you protect my family, and all these good intentions, it means nothing if you don't embody the feeling after the prayer of what it would be like to have the prayer answered. That is the instruction to the universe. And the universe serves these emotions wholeheartedly, without failure. So you can see why it becomes so important to get out of these deep thoughts about anxiety. We start embodying fear and anxiety, and this is the instruction to the universe. Hey, I'm feeling fearful and anxious, and you go to bed that night and you start praying, please God, please make sure that I don't lose my job for this mess up I made, please. And what you're doing is embodying this thing of fear and going to the mercy of everything, and you're telling the universe it needs to give you a reflection that's going to resemble that fear. And one way it will do that, and a lot of you would have experienced this, is by prolonging the suffering or the end of suffering. So, for example, let's say you did something wrong in your job and now you need to fix up the mess and your boss is unhappy and the boss says to you, we need to have a chat on Monday about this whole mess up, and you spend the whole weekend panicking about the potential catastrophe that's about to happen, and you keep that energy, you don't release it. Then on Monday, you're meant to hop on the call and he says, listen, things have been hectic, we are going to speak about this on Friday, but I'm not happy. Then he prolongs that suffering. It's not him prolonging the suffering, it's us holding on to the emotion. So becoming aware of your emotions is literally how you start controlling the universe. Not directly by controlling it, saying, okay, I'm going to do happy so I can manifest the things that make me happy. It's about the feeling itself. It's not about what it brings. And a lot of us get caught up with this when our manifestation starts slowing down or stop working. When that starts to happen, what's actually going on a spiritual level, we're caring about the outcome. So the true feeling that's being manifested is desire. So you might think, no, I'm choosing to be happy right now because I want to manifest things. And you get into happy because you want to bring certain things in, like that girl that you have a really deep crush on, or that guy that you have a deep crush on, whatever it is. And you are saying, I will be happy to manifest them, and they never come around. It's because the true emotion underneath it is a wanting for someone. So then the universe will show you more of wanting. By that I mean, will give you more things in your space to want but not have. So emotional awareness allows us to let go of those feelings that happen from thoughts and choose what emotion we want to experience. Now, it's really difficult to just go into emotional awareness with things going on around you and no awareness in that. That's why we have to do these awareness steps first, to become aware of your space. Nothing's threatening you here. Nothing is in danger. You wouldn't be watching this YouTube video if you were under threat. Then we get into awareness of you and your position in this safe space. Then we become aware of the thoughts that are corrupting the experience of those two states of awareness you could be in, because the thoughts are designed there to try and protect your human life, which is a useless task because our human life is guaranteed to end. So to try and preserve it, when none of us know when the end day is coming, there's no point in serving the fears that are created in our minds. So we have to release all of that, then get into emotional awareness. That allows us to choose our emotions not based on anything, anyone, or anywhere. It's just a choice that we can make because we want to experience a better feeling. When the feeling is more valuable than the thing, we remove the obstacles for the thing to come in. And this is why emotional awareness is so important. Now, a lot of you who are on a conscious journey or on a spiritual path will think, well, how does it get more than that? And total awareness is a step above even controlling emotions. And there's certain things that we have to apply to these different states of awareness that will bring us into total awareness. And for those of you who listen to Esther Hicks or Abraham Hicks, so Esther channels Abraham, a spirit who shares all of this information. They refer to total awareness as the vortex. And the vortex is that deep sense of complete alignment. It is complete balanced energy. And it's a state we want to get into for things to literally just start falling into our lives that are an exact reflection of the true power we actually hold. And it's when we combine those awarenesses that I've just shown you with a few steps. Now, before I get into those steps, I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. I want to have a conversation with each and every one of you about which awareness state you're in, but also what you want to know more about. Because so much of this is not one size fits all, which is why a lot of spiritual people have a problem with religion. It's very personal and it's a deep introspective dive into yourself that allows you to access all of these powerful states of being. So I want to have a chat with each and every one of you and just share some concepts and see what would be beneficial to you. So how do we get into total awareness? And this is where it gets really exciting. This is entering the vortex. So once we become aware of the surface level states of awareness, which is your space and yourself. Then we go a little bit deeper, the difficult hump, which is the thoughtful awareness. Then we get into the spiritual one, which is our emotional awareness. We got to go through all of those stages and hold that place and enjoy that space. A lot of us can access that state through meditation, but the way that we can consciously pull ourselves into that last state, into that deep state of awareness where life literally starts happening to serve you. It's about the energy all being in the present moment and now. And it's to let go of the things that are outside of your sensical awareness. What I mean by that is there's certain ways we operate, and it's based on belief systems we have that start to dictate the way we perceive life around us. And when we get aware of those things and drop them, that is how we get into total awareness. And I'm going to show you these 4 points that help me do exactly that. The first one is purpose. Now, what I mean by that is, as I'm in that emotional state of awareness, there's things that can interrupt it by something happening. So we have this bird that lives just outside of our house. It's a guinea fowl. I'll show you guys what he looks like and what he sounds like. But he rams the window every single day. Every morning and every afternoon, he comes and rams the window and fights his reflection in that window. And it's very difficult to focus when you hear this constant ding, ding, ding on the window. Now, the reason I bring that story in is these things can interrupt when you get to this stage of awareness. They can frustrate you and irritate you and throw you off. But purpose is the intense energy outside of the things I can be aware of. There's a purpose in the interruption itself. That in that deep state of awareness, this bird knocking himself on the window is actually in service of the awareness, and knowing that it has a purpose to bring me to that center place of the vortex is what I surrender to. What that allows me to do is to not have fear, because fear is the biggest distraction you can have in any of your states of awareness or anything in terms of being happy in life. So releasing fear, I do that by recognizing purpose. Everything has meaning. And it's all serving me in some way, even if I can't see. And like I said earlier, the way you know if you are aware is if it doesn't choose how you feel. So with the bird knocking the window, I do at times feel myself getting frustrated. This is not about being perfect. So when he does his thing, I don't get annoyed anymore. I accept the purpose. Okay, it's got meaning to interrupt me at this point. Next is your lack of control. We cannot control the outside world. We can control how we feel. That inadvertently does control the outside world, but not in the way you might think. It's not like, okay, I get into happiness and because I can only control my inner world and then a Lamborghini will come. That's not necessarily how it works. And might be an opportunity to get into a higher state of happiness, and that might bring the Lamborghini at some point. But don't try and control these states of awareness just to manifest things. The manifestation is a consequence of being authentically you. So let go of your idea of control. You can't control the world. We think we can. Often with these potential future catastrophes, we're like, oh, if I do this properly, things won't fall apart. We don't have that control. Be authentic to you is the shift you can make to get into one step higher of becoming totally aware. So be authentic. Don't worry about controlling things around you by being a different version of yourself. Next, we want to get into the state of the observer. Because we have no control and everything has meaning, we don't need to be an actable part in our lives. We don't need to run around doing things. We can surrender to watching everything unfold. Now, I don't mean go sit in your bed and never get up. But I mean live life in that high energy, and when you feel a calling to do something, I really want to play this new video game. Go and play the video game. Allow yourself to live in that heightened energy, but observe all of these states of awareness. Observe them. That is the highest awareness state, is the observer. It's not the actor. It's not an actable part. It's watching what happens. And then it's peace. Once you realize that all of these emotions, all of these experiences all lead to the end of a human existence, which is beautiful, you can have peace with however it unfolds. It's all got purpose. You cannot control any of it. You can watch it and enjoy it without being negative about it. That will give you a sense of peace. And when you feel that sense of peace and you constantly allow yourself to stay in that state of awareness, that is what pulls you into the vortex. That is where energy is being equally balanced. And the reason that that is so powerful is because the balance is of being a creator. When you are in all of these states of awareness and in the vortex, you are creating energy. And that creation has to be mirrored to you through the reflection of this world. So that's when your manifestations start being delivered to your door at a rapid pace. For those of you who have enjoyed this video, I can't wait to chat to you guys in the comments. I love having conversations, so feel free to go mad there. I hope to see you all on my subscribers list and in the comment section on my next video coming out on Tuesday. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Mad love and light.